Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a pelvic floor practice. So we're going to be looking at some pelvic tilts. It's all going to be on the floor, some cat curls, some planks, bridges, and looking at some pelvic floor exercises as well, okay? So let's begin on our back. All right, so just coming down onto the forearms, reclining onto the mat, and just taking the feet directly next to the buttocks. And place the back of the hands on the mat and just closing your eyes and relax. Just bring your attention to the breath before we begin the practice. Just being aware of the rise and the fall of the chest, the abdomen. On the inhale as the chest rises, and the exhale as it falls. And just enjoying that rhythm, inhale, following exhale. On the next inhale, we're going to start to very gently curl the spine so that the back, so that the vertebrae connect with the mat. And the navel goes towards the mat too. So we're taking that navel in, contracting that Uddiyana Bandha, or that navel lock. And as we do that, the pelvis and the buttocks tilt upwards and come off the mat. So just holding this here, okay? You can use your hands to help. Place the hands flat in the mat. Just taking that navel back to the spine, and as we do, tilting the pelvis upwards, contracting the buttocks. And we're just going to take a few breaths here. So again, connecting with that breath, inhale, following exhale. And just see how the spine is now fully connecting with the mat, and the navel is pulling back towards the spine. Uddiyana Bandha, root lock. And we're just going to roll each vertebrae very slowly back down. And as we do, we uncurl the pelvis and take hip bones, the sit bones back to the mat. And as you can see, the vertebrae of the spine are now not directly connected to the mat. We're going to curl again. So just curling those vertebrae nice and slowly. Again, taking it very slowly. Each vertebrae of the spine slowly connecting with the mat. And as we do, we engage Uddiyana Bandha, taking that navel back to the spine. We're starting to work those baps, the back, the abs, and the pelvic floor. Now this time, we're going to actually push upwards with the pelvis. Okay, so coming in to a bridge. Now take this as high or as low as you want. So walking the shoulder blades under. Again, if we want, we can take the hands under for extra support. We can clasp those hands behind the back. Okay, or we can place them flat on the mat. Whatever is comfortable for you. And we're just going to hold this for 5 here. More breaths. One more. Now slowly we're going to walk those shoulders out and we're going to roll down again, releasing every vertebrae of the spine as we roll down very, very slowly, each vertebrae connecting with the mat until we come down to the hips. Okay, and then rolling in opposite directions. So if you think about your spine in a cat curl, how it arches up and then curls down towards the mat. This is the same thing, but we're reclined, okay? So now the navel is pointing out, the spine is not connected to the mat. We've got that arch in the back here. And we're just going to take a small curl again like we did at first. So just curling under. So just feeling the thoracic spine begin to connect with the mat. Okay, and as that happens, the navel comes back to the spine. Okay, so engaging that Uddiyana Bandha. Okay, so pulling that navel back to the spine, pulling it towards the mat as the buttocks, the sit bones, the hip bones slightly lift off the mat. So we're not going to take this one up into the full bridge. I just want you to really connect with that Uddiyana Bandha. Okay. So working with the back, the abs and the pelvic floor. I want you to bring your awareness to how contracting the navel lock, so working the abdominal muscles and the navel lock, how this feels in the lower back. Okay, so the lower back is contracted. And the pelvic floor as well. So I want you to start to bring your awareness to the pelvic floor now. So can you feel the pelvic floor? Are you connecting with the pelvic floor? And while we're in this position, I want you to see if you can engage the pelvic floor. Okay. Now this can be harder than it sounds, especially if we haven't worked these muscles in years. So I just want you to clench the pelvic floor, clenching in, okay? And just try and hold that just now and just see how long you can hold that, okay? Now don't panic if the pelvic floor muscles disengage. This is very common, especially if we haven't worked with them. And then I just want you to relax the pelvic floor and roll the pelvis back down, okay? So that we have that nice slight concave in the spine again. And just relax here for a second, okay? So just close your eyes, relax. And we're going to try that again. And this time, when we have the Uddiyana Bandha engaged, I'm going to ask you to engage the Mula Bandha. So that's the root lock, okay? But just think of that as engaging the pelvic floor at the same time. So we're going to try and be pulling up and back at the same time and creating that gorgeous strong lock in the middle. When we do that, that supports the back, the abs, and the pelvic floor at once. And obviously, we want to strengthen all of those areas because they do work in unison, they do support each other. And if one isn't strong, the other will be weak. So on the next inhale, just curling under, taking that navel back to the spine, vertebrae, thoracic spine, lumbar spine, all connecting with the mat as the sit bones and hip bones just slightly raise up from the mat, okay? So now that we're holding this position, making sure that navel is pulling back towards the spine. Okay, so and remember to breathe as well, guys. Just breathing in and out through the nose. You can have your eyes closed here. You can have them open. It's up to you. Just remember to breathe steadily in and out through the nose. Now, this is a lot about acceptance as well, because as I said, the pelvic floor, it might not be playing ball. It may not be very strong, and that's okay. So now that we have this gorgeous navel lock, okay, I want you to engage the pelvic floor. So remember what I said, pulling up on the pelvic floor and back on the navel lock, okay? So imagining pulling up and pulling back and then meeting in the middle, okay? And just focus on engaging both of those locks. So pulling up, pulling back, engaging the pelvic floor, taking the navel back to the spine. Just close the eyes and focus on the upward pull and the backward pull. And just visualize them meeting in the center, okay? Now the spine should be connecting with the mat. Should be a slight roll in the spine here as it connects with the mat, okay? And the sit bones and the hip bones should be slightly off the mat. Shoulders should be back. Smile on the lips, allowing you to breathe easily in and out through the nose. Now just hold this as long as you can. I just want you to bring awareness to where you're struggling. Is it the navel lock? Is this difficult for you? Is it the root lock? Is the pelvic floor difficult to engage? If you lose the engagement, just release. Okay, release back down. And you can release up again. This time we're going to do some pulses when we go up, okay? Sit bones, hip bones, off of the mat, navel back to the spine, length of the spine connecting with the mat, okay? Shoulders back and down. And from here, I want you to engage that pelvic floor actively. I want you to try some pulses here, okay? So try 10 pulses, squeezing in and release 10 times. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to roll back down, just taking each vertebrae back down to the mat, down to those hip bones sitting on the mat. I just want you to take your hands out to the side, and we're going to just rock knees over to the right as we look over to the left. Just take a few breaths here. And we're just enjoying that gorgeous stretch along the left side. Being aware of that navel lock as well. Two more breaths. And then slowly roll the head back to the center. And as you do, bring the knees back to center, feet flat on the mat. And we're going to change sides now. So on the exhale, knees are going to roll over to the left side this time. And the head is going to go to the right. So we're looking towards the thumb, that's our drishti. And we're just going to take 10 breaths here. Just enjoying this gorgeous release along the right side of the body. Bringing your attention to that navel lock. Breathing in and out through the nose. Inhale, equaling the exhale. Four more breaths. And bringing the knees back to center here. Okay. So from here, just keeping the knees together. Okay. We're just going to focus on that pelvic floor again. So we're taking the navel back to the spine. That gentle rocking motion as the pelvis comes forward, the spine comes back to the mat, the navel comes back to the spine. And just keeping the knees together, I just want you to bring your awareness to the pelvic floor again. And we're going to do 10 of those contractions again, okay? Now, when we bring our awareness to the pelvic floor, if the buttocks move when we're clenching, then we might not be clenching the right part, okay? And the best way to test this is when you're actually passing urine. And if you just, when you go for pee, just try and stop that flow of urine. Just do it once, don't do it too much, it can cause UTIs. And those are the muscles that you should be contracting for your pelvic floor, okay? Just contracting 10 times again. Remember to breathe. And just holding each pulse for 1 or 2 seconds. Two more. And release. Okay. Coming back to that nice neutral spine. And just wiggle the sit bones side to side. realigning. And we're just going to rock up slightly again, okay? So remembering we're engaging the pelvic floor, it's beneficial to engage the navel lock as well, okay? So we're engaging that navel lock, and as we do, put your fingers in your belly button if that helps you remember. We're taking that navel back to the spine, we're taking the spine back to the mat. And as the thoracic spine connects with the mat, the lumbar spine lifts, okay? So the sit bones, the hip bones, they're lifting. So you should see that nice engaged spine, okay? And from here, we have engaged the navel locks. We're going to pull up in the pelvic floor. Now we're going to try and hold this for 10, okay? Now if that's too hard, don't worry, just release and start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and we're going to release. We're going to roll back down again to that neutral spine. Okay, and just releasing the sit bones. Release that lumbar spine. And back to neutral spine. So we're going to do this one more time, okay? Inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to take the navel back to the spine. We're going to take the spine back to the mat. And as we do, the lumbar spine raises slowly. Pelvis comes up, the buttocks and the hip bones raise up from the mat. So we've engaged the navel lock, and now engaging the mula bandha, the root lock, engaging that pelvic floor. And just close your eyes, and I just want you to bring your awareness to that pelvic floor. How does it feel? Does it feel strong? Does it feel weak? Can you feel nothing at all? Because that's okay too. And wherever you are, just try and engage those pelvic floor muscles. And just breathe in and out through the nose. Inhale, equaling the exhale as we engage the navel lock, engage the root lock. 5 more breaths. Again, if you have to release down and come back up, that's absolutely fine, okay? Two more breaths. And curling back to neutral spine. Just releasing those hip bones. From here, we're just going to pop up and we're going to actually come into Malasana. Okay, so from here, we're going to come into a wide squat. Now you can do this against a wall if you want, okay? And just coming forward onto the hands. And we're just going to pop back, and those toes should be pointing out the way, all right? And we're just going to take the elbows to the knees, and we're going to take the hands together in prayer position. We're going to push out with the elbows and push in with the knees. So this creates a bind and straightens the spine. We're going to lengthen through the top of the head, pushing those hands together. And we're just going to hold there in Malasana. Close your eyes. And again, being aware of that navel lock, taking the navel back to the spine, and become aware of the pelvic floor. Can you engage the pelvic floor in this position? And I want you to try 10 pulses here in Malasana. So again, remember, we're leading through the top of the head, we're pushing away with those elbows, we're pushing in with the knees. This is keeping the spine nice and straight, so all the way from the top of the head down to the coccyx, lengthening, extending through the spine. Hands pushing together. Nice, gorgeous lock between the knees and the elbows. Body is strong and active. I just want you to try and take 10 pulses here, okay? Just bringing your awareness to that pelvic floor. If that's too much, that's fine. Just work with what you have. Breathing in and out through the nose. Allow yourself to smile. And keeping that body active. Pushing away with the elbows, pushing in with the knees, lengthening through the top of the head. 3 more breaths. Just contract and release. One more breath. And then release. Okay, so just pop those hands down in front and you can come on to your knees. Now from here we're going to come into some cat curls or Budalasana. So just placing the hands directly under the shoulders, knees directly under the hips. So we've got a nice rectangle here, okay? And the front of the feet should be flat on the mat. Now starting from a nice neutral spine, on the inhale, we're going to curl up. So similar to the movement that we did when we were reclined, okay? So we're going to take that navel down towards the spine and down towards the mat. And as we do that, we're going to look up towards the third eye between the eyebrows, okay? So the navel is coming towards the mat. The gaze is coming towards the sky. And the spine is curling downwards like a cow. And on the exhale, we're going to do the opposite movement, okay? So we're going to very, very slowly releasing every vertebrae of the spine as we arch that back up like a cat. It's really taking it slowly, arching up, and then looking towards that navel. Really pushing into those shoulder blades. And then as we inhale, again, slowly curling. You can feel that gorgeous curl in the lumbar spine, sit bones, the navel coming towards the mat as you slowly look up towards the third eye between those eyebrows. And the abdomen should be fully curved down towards the mat now. And on the exhale, again, very, very slowly arching the back up, releasing each vertebrae very slowly, being aware of the release. Looking towards the navel, arching up, really arching into those shoulder blades, lengthening through the spine. And inhale as we push down into the hands, and the gaze very slowly comes up as the navel comes towards the mat. As sit bones tilt up, as the gaze looks between the eyebrows. And last one, exhale. Begin to curl under, the gaze goes downward. Spine curls up, arches like a cat. Standing into those shoulder blades, looking towards the navel at the full extent of the arch. And inhale. Back to neutral spine. And from here, we're going to come in to bridge pose. Okay, so just coming onto your back, rolling onto your back here. And we're just going to take those heels as close to the buttocks as possible. We're going to walk the shoulders under. Okay, and you can hold on to the heels. You can place the hands flat in the mat, or you can take the hands behind, underneath the buttocks, clasped like this, okay? And we're just going to raise with the hip bones, okay? Again, we can take the hands underneath the hips if this is what's available. Leading, if you imagine, piece of string coming through the navel, just leading with those hip bones, contracting the buttocks. We're going to take 5 breaths here in bridge. 2 more here. Again, as we come down, we're going to come down very slowly, using that rolling motion that we've been using. So just feeling the legs compress, the shoulders open out, sit bones, the hips connect with the mat, that lumbar spine, and we're coming back to nice neutral spine. And just relax here for a few breaths. And we're going to walk those shoulders in again. We're going to come back up. So again, I want you to take this really, really slowly and just being aware of that arch in the spine just now, okay, not connecting with the mat. And as we're going to slightly raise up with these hip bones, lengthening through the navel, coming up as high as is comfortable, okay, and keeping those knees parallel with the feet. Again, clasping the hands, placing hands flat, or using those hands to help you raise higher to give you a bit of support, okay? So wherever we are, we're going to hold this for 5. And we're going to release down. So walking those shoulders out, release the shoulders. Slowly take the sit bones down towards the mat. Keeping the feet flat in the mat, just engaging that lumbar spine, the thoracic spine, just curling into the mat, arching as we did during the cat curls, and then coming back again. And as we come in, engaging that root lock as the navel comes towards the mat. And on the exhale, rocking into that curl, that cow pose, and arching up again, each vertebrae connecting with the mat. Lumbar spine slightly raising off the mat. Inhale as the back curls. Exhale as we arch into the mat. Spine connecting with the mat. Thoracic spine. Exhale, slowly rolling those vertebrae in the opposite direction. Navel coming up towards the sky. One more. Navel coming down towards the mat as the lumbar spine raises off the mat. And remember, you can take the fingers to the navel if it helps you with the contraction, to remember to contract. And on the exhale, curling that spine up. Thoracic spine leaving the mat. Navel towards the sky and back to neutral spine. From here, we're just going to pop into corpse pose to spend as much time here as you want, just releasing the legs, palms to the sky, allowing a smile to form in the lips, relax the muscles of the face. Normal breathing now. Just allow yourself to relax. I am worthy, I am whole, I am complete.